Lightning has an eternal fascination for humans, as even today we can't quite believe that amount of power exists in the clouds. But, as ever, science has an explanation. As particles bounce around in clouds, electrons are knocked off atoms as they ascend, leaving them behind at the bottom of the cloud, giving it a negative charge. Since opposite charges attract, a positive charge will develop at the top of tall objects like this tree near the cloud. But air is a very strong insulator, and the enormous electrical resistance makes the discharging lightning bolt, when it comes, incredibly hot. It can instantly vaporize water in anything it hits. The superheating and expansion of air then causes a blast wave that we call thunder. Did you know that a single storm can discharge enough energy to power the entire continental United States for 20 minutes? So to avoid becoming an unwitting lightning rod during a thunderstorm, it really is best to stay inside. During peak season, Venezuela's Lake Maracaibo averages a record 28 lightning strikes a minute. But this is Canada. So that is a bit more of a novelty.
Holy man!
As the lightning hits the tree, its intense heat vaporizes the water in the living wood. The liquid instantly turns to gas and expands, causing the bark to explode off in large chunks.
Damn! Man!
Ah, this looks romantic. These lovebirds are going snorkeling in a rainstorm, and there's just enough time for a quick selfie. Perhaps a little flash? Yeah, that's better. The lightning strike superheats gas in the air, causing it to expand and send out a shockwave. So, if you find yourself holding something tall and conductive in a storm, it really is best to drop it, no matter how unpatriotic you look. Humans have been climbing mountains for almost as long as there've been humans, but only recently has it been done solely for its fitness potential. Mountain trekking is a potent cocktail of cardiovascular endurance and adrenaline. Great for anyone who likes their workouts with a view. I think I may have finally found my sport. Yeah, actually, I've had a think about it, and I'm probably just going to stick with the jazz boxercise.
Yeah, you're not going to want to go that way.
Not knowing what you're doing in mountain trekking kills people each and every year. So if you fancy giving it a go, you'll really want to pay attention to this science. Our man's first issue is balance. He can help himself by keeping his center of mass low. In other words, he needs to squat slightly. But he has less control over his terrain. Earthy ground breaks up easily beneath his feet. But stones and rocks have a high Young's modulus and are incompressible under his weight. He still needs to be wary of foot placement, though. Friction between the rocks he's standing on and those below can be low, meaning the top rocks can slip, giving him problems. The Great Trail in Canada is the longest hike in the world, just under 15,000 miles. But even if your treks are a little bit more modest, then success comes down to the same three things: balance, an understanding of friction, and good foot placement. Hugging the wall will help with balance, but not foot placement. There's high friction between this underdressed climber's shoes and the rock, but low friction between that rock and the one below it. Which leads me on to one more bit of advice. Don't get overconfident, as a little skip down a mountain trail can lead to...
No.
a much bigger step than the one you intended. This shirtless trekker lands on a granite rock, which has a high Young's modulus, so it will only compress by an imperceptible amount. But the Earth it's resting on is much less resistant, so it gives way instead. Oh, isn't physics funny?
That's it, nice and slow.
There's a lesson here. If you want to stay safe, stay slow.
Well done.
Running like this guy is just asking for trouble.
Are you okay?
And it looks like he's found it. The ground here is loose stones on top of dry, compacted earth. The low coefficient of friction between them means he can't get enough dynamic friction to stop. Ah, yes, he's managed it now. So I suppose we could summarize the whole thing like this. Rocks, not quite as stable as they get credit for.